When you multiply a number by itself, the resulting number that you get is called a square number. For example, if you're multiplying 6 with itself, you will get 6 square. This is called a square number. Or perfect square. Okay. 6 square is 36. So we call 36 as a perfect square. Similarly, if you multiply 2 by 3 with itself, you will get 2 by 3 square. This is called a square number or perfect square. Now you can simplify 2 by 3 square to get 2 square by 3 square. And you can get this as 4 by 9. So 4 by 9 is a perfect square. Okay. So that is the definition of a square number. Now these some standard perfect square numbers I have written here. Okay. It is better you memorize them if you know them very well. Otherwise, you better memorize them. At least squares till 10. Okay. So the square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, and so on. Now see, numbers like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on. These are all perfect squares, right? There are numbers in between also. Between 1 and 4, you have 2 and 3, but 2 and 3 are not perfect squares. Similarly, between 4 and 9, you have numbers like 5, 6, 7, and 8. None of these numbers are perfect squares. Similarly, between
So
9 and
how
16,
1 is a perfect square?
yes, 1 is a perfect square because if you multiply 1 with 1, you will get 1 square, which is equal to 1.
And sir, why 2 is not a perfect square?
Yes, sir.
These numbers are called perfect squares. Can you multiply two numbers to get 2? Tell me. Can you multiply a number by itself to get 2? Just like 4,
No, sir.
you are getting by multiplying 2 into 2, right? But can you tell me two numbers which you multiply by itself to get 2? Is it? Can you get?
No, sir.
You cannot get. So therefore 2 is not a perfect square. You understood what perfect square means now? Or square numbers? That is why 9 is a perfect square, because 9 can be written as 3 into 3, right? Number multiplied by itself will give you 9. So 9 becomes a perfect square or a square number. But 7 cannot be a perfect square. Can you write 7 as product of two equal numbers? Can you
No,
write?
sir. No,
No,
sir. No, sir.
that means this is not a perfect square or not a square number. 7 is not a square number. Okay. So that is why all these numbers are perfect squares. But these numbers here, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, these are not perfect squares, or these are not square numbers. Clear with this concept now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we come to the properties of square numbers. First property is all natural numbers are not perfect squares. What are natural numbers? Numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Numbers which start from 1, right? They are called natural numbers. So if you see in
Yes.
these, all these are not perfect squares, right? 4 is a perfect square, but 2 is not a perfect square. Similarly, if you proceed further, you will be able to show that some of the numbers are not perfect squares, isn't it? Like let's say 13 is not a perfect square, 15 is not a perfect square, even 14 is not a perfect square, but 16 is a perfect square, right? So all numbers are not perfect squares. There are only a few numbers, natural numbers, that are perfect squares. Okay, this is the meaning of the first property. Next, property number 2. A perfect square can always be expressed as a product of pairs of equal prime factors. This is very, very important property. Very important. See, I have taken the example of 1296, right? See, the question here is check whether 1296 is a perfect square. So what I do is I prime factorize 1296 to get 6, 4, 8, 3, 2, 4, 1, 6, 2,
81.
next with 81, next you go with 3, next you divide
Sir,
with, tell me,
sir, why not 9 directly?
because 9 is not prime. Is 9 a prime number?
No, sir.
Not a prime number.
Sir, then we can only prime factorize a number by a prime number.
Exactly. Okay. And the lowest prime number, remember, lowest prime number. Okay, because
sir.
after 2, which is the lowest prime number? 3.
3.
Right. So if you can divide by 3, then you proceed with 3. Otherwise, if you cannot, then proceed to the next lowest prime number. Understood? So that is why this
Okay, sir.
process is called prime factorization. Okay. Get 3. Get 3. So you see, once I have prime factorized, now you arrange these in pairs. These two, this is a pair, this is a pair. 2 is prime, right? And if you see 2 is in pairs. 2 is prime, 2 is in pairs. 3 is prime, 3 is in pairs. Again, this is also in pairs. So what can you write? Therefore, 1296 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Okay. So that means 1296 has been written as a product of pairs of prime factors. See pairs, 4 pairs we get, right? Of prime factors. That means we say 1296 is a perfect square, is a square number or a perfect square. Clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Let us move on to the next
Yes, sir.
example here. The next example states, check whether 720 is a perfect square. Okay, so what I do here is I prime factorize 720. First with the lowest 2, so we get 360. Again 360 can divide with 2, so I get 180. Again 180 can divide with 2, I get 90. Again 90 can divide with 2, I get 45. Now 45 I will not take 5 because after 2 the next prime number is 3. And does 45 divide 3? Yes, it does. So we'll take 3. Right? This is what we are getting. So therefore,
Yes, sir.
now you arrange in pairs. These 2 is a prime and it is available in pairs. So this is okay. Again here 2 is a prime, it is available in pairs. 3 is a prime, it is available in pairs. But 5 is not available in a pair. So therefore 720 is this pair.
Not
Yes, this pair, and a 5. That is 5 is an unpaired prime. That means we say hence
it's
720
not a
is not a square number or a perfect square. Fine. So this is how you check whether a number is a perfect square or not. Okay. So this was the second rule. Remember, this is a very, very important property. Okay. We'll be using this property later. The next property is a number having 2, 3, 7 or 8 in its unit place cannot be a perfect square. Okay. So it's this is a very, very simple and straightforward rule. Any number that you can think of, if in the units place you see a 2, you will say that it is not a perfect square. Howsoever long the number is. Let us take the number very big number, right? But you see 2 is here in the units place. That means you say that this number, since you write since 2 is in the units place,
Sir, unit means the last one.
Yes, units. This is the units place. This is the tens place. Okay, units place means this. Since
Okay,
2
sir.
is
Yes,
the
sir.
in the units place, therefore 2, 3, 5, 9, 1, 2, 5, 7, 1, 3, 4, 7, 2 is not a square number, right? Very important property, remember. Next, if I give you a number like 2353, you see a 3 in the units place, that means this is not a perfect square. That is 2353 is not a perfect square or is not a square number, right? You don't even need to check by prime factorization. Fine. Next is, suppose I give you this number 7951453 You see 2 in the units place, that means this
Yes.
number is not a square number. Okay, so any of the digits 2, 3, 7 and 8, see I've given you 4 digits here. When you see a 2 in the units place, you can say it is not a square number. If you see 3 in the units place, you can directly say it is not a square number. If you see 7 in the units place, you can say it is not a square number. Or even if you see an 8 in the units place, you can say it is not a square number. Okay. Now, fourth property. A number ending in odd number of zeros cannot be a perfect square. Okay, any number that ends in a odd number of zeros. Suppose 5000 is a number that ends in how many zeros? 3 zeros, right?
3 0.
So number of zeros is odd, right? Number of zeros is equal to 3, which is an odd number, right? So therefore, 5000 cannot be a perfect square. Okay. Let us say 64. This number, is it a perfect square? Count the number of zeros at the end. You see 7
7 0.
zeros. 7 is odd. So
Yes,
therefore,
sir.
this is not a perfect square. Understood? So you can definitely say, if you have an odd number of zeros, you can definitely say that it cannot be a perfect square. You can definitely say, okay. But if you have even number of zeros, it may be a perfect square, may not be a perfect square. Understood? For example, let us say take this 6 4 and you have 4 zeros at the end. Even number of zeros, right? Is this a perfect square? In order to check whether this is a perfect square, you need to check these 2 digits also. Is 64 a perfect square? Yes. 8
8.
into 8 will give me a perfect square. Also, I have even number of zeros. So therefore, this is a perfect.
Sir, 800.
This is a perfect square, right? Also, suppose if you have 58 followed by 4 zeros. Again, you have even number of zeros, right? But this is not a perfect square because 58 is not a perfect square. Understood? So this is not a perfect
Sir,
square.
sir means that we can take out the answer by checking the first digits.
Checking the remaining digits.
Okay, sir.
The point here is that if the number of zeros at the end is odd, you can definitely say, you can close your eyes and say that it cannot be a perfect square. But if it has even number of zeros, it may be a perfect square, may not be a perfect square. Okay. Moving on to the next property. The next property is square of even numbers are even and squares of odd numbers are odd numbers. So which means that let us consider this case 997 is an odd number.
Yes, sir.
That means 997 square also has to be an odd number. Whatever it is, you find out by multiplication, it will come out to be an odd number. Okay. 4748 is an even number.
Yes, sir.
If you square this number, whatever number you get, but you can definitely say it is an even number because we started with an even number. Property clear? Property
Yes, sir.
6 is very important. Property 6 is very important. Understanding of property 6 is very important. Okay. See, any number which has 1 or 9 in the unit space. Let us take an example here for this. The property is if any number has 1 or 9 in the unit space, the square of that number will have 1 in the unit space. How? You need to understand this property very well. Suppose I take a number 2391921. Big number. You see there's a 1 here, right? In the units place. So what if I square this number? If I square this number, I'll obtain some number, isn't it? Some big number I'll obtain. What we can,
Yes, sir.
it is very difficult to find the entire number, but what we can definitely find is the units digit of this number. Only the units digit. Okay. What is that unit digit? You square 1. How much do you get? 1, isn't it? So the units digit will definitely be 1. Let us take another example. This number. If I square this number, again I'll get some very big number, right? I cannot find the number. It is very difficult to find the number. But what I can definitely find is what will be the units digit of this number. So what you do is you take the units digit here. What is the units digit? 9. You square it. How much do you get? 81, right? So here, what is the last digit? 1. So the units digit will be 1. Is this property clear?
Yes, sir.
We'll take more examples. Suppose a number has 4 or 6 in the units place. Let us take this number. You're squaring this number, right? Again, you will obtain a very big number, right? Which I don't know, and which is very difficult to multiply also. But what I can definitely see just on looking at the number, right? That I can definitely say if I square 4, how much will I get? I'll get 16.
16.
And you see a 6 in the unit space here. That means the units place here, units digit here will definitely be 6. Whatever the other digits are, the last digit or the units digit will always be 6. Okay. Let us take another example. Again, another big number. I am squaring this number. I'll get certain number, right? But then that will be very time consuming to multiply. But what I can definitely in 2 seconds, just by seeing at this number, what can I say? That if I square 6, I'll get 36, right? So what is the last digit here? 6. That
6.
means the last digit here will definitely be this 6. Clear with this property?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you will tell me. If I give you a number, this, what should be the units digit of this number?
Sir, 4.
Why?
Sir, 8 square.
Okay, 8 square. 8 square is 64, right? The unit digit here is 4.
Yes,
So
sir.
whatever number that you will get here, whatever on multiplication, I don't know. But what I can definitely say is the last digit will be 4. Okay, because 8 square is 64, you take the last digit here.
Sir, this law goes on every number. Like, sir, like if there is 5 in the units place, then the answer of the square will also have 5 in the unit place.
Yes, because if you take this number, take this number. You have 5 in the units place. What is 5 square?
Yes, sir.
25, right? The last digit here is 5. So whatever on multiplication, whatever you will get, you will definitely get the units digit as 5.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay. So it applies to every number. You can do this with any number. You can find out the last digit. Okay. Anyone who to whom this property is not clear, because we shall be using this property later on. So it's clear to everyone. Next, next property is if a natural number cannot be expressed as a sum of consecutive odd numbers starting from 1, then it is not a perfect square number. This is a very not very important property, but a very loose way of checking whether a number is a perfect square. A very loose and um, I mean not a very useful way of checking, but still it is a property. Okay, so for example, if I want to check whether 59 is a perfect square, okay, the best way is to whether I can prime factorize 59 and get it as pairs of prime factors. But if I cannot prime factorize, then what will I do? I will start subtracting odd numbers. First odd number is 1. I'll subtract 1 to get 58. This 58 I write below. After 1, what is the next odd number? 3. So I'll subtract 3 to get 55. Next, I'll start with 55. After 3, which is the next odd number? 5. So
5.
I'll subtract 5 from 55 to get 50. Next, I'll start with 50. After 5, which is the next odd number? 7. So I will
43.
this is 43. Again 43 minus next odd number is 9. So I'll get 34. Again I'll start with 34. Next
11.
odd number is 11. So I'll get 23. Next I'll start with 23. Next odd number is 13.
13.
10.
10. So here there's a small mistake, I think. Okay, just check this. Okay, this should be, this should not be,
it will be 30,
it should be 13.
32.
Okay,
It will
fine. So next here, you see that you are getting 23 minus 13 is equal to 10. Next, if I start with 10, I'll get a negative number, right?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So no point continuing any further. So what I see is the last positive number that I'm getting. Last positive number, what is the last positive number we are getting is 10, right?
Yes,
Which is not equal to 0. We are not getting 0, right? Therefore, we say
yes,
that
sir.
59 is not a perfect square. Okay. Let us take another example. Let us take, we want to check whether 81 is a perfect square. So we start subtracting the odd numbers. 81 minus 1, get 80. 81 minus 3, you get,
Sir, 80 minus 3, sir.
sorry, 80 minus 3,
minus 2.
80 minus 3, you get as
80
77.
minus
77 minus 5, you get as 72. 72 minus 7, you get as 65. 65 minus 9, you get as 56.
60.
56 minus 11, you get 45. 45 minus 13, you get 32. 32 minus 15, you get 17. And finally, you have 17 minus 17. So are we getting 0 at the end? Yes.
Yes, sir.
That means
Yes,
we say,
sir.
that means we say 81 is a perfect square. Okay, you can try
That
this out.
means there are 2 steps to take out the square root.
2 steps to,
There are 2 formulas to take out the square roots.
we are not,
First is
we are not,
subtracting
we have not done square roots till now. We are only dealing with square numbers. We have not done square roots.
Sir, yes, sir, that's square
Hmm.
number, sir.
Hmm.
There are 2 ways to do the square number, sir. First is to minus from the odd one, and
Hmm.
second is to
Prime
give the
factorize.
last number. Yes, sir.
Prime factorize. Last digit
Sir,
is
in
also there.
exam we can do
Eh,
in exam
Tell me.
we can do with anyone, sir.
In the exam, mostly you will be using prime factorization method. Okay. Other properties that I have told you, these are just for your information. Okay. These are just to keep things in mind. Suppose if I give you a number, check whether this is a prime fact, whether this is a square number. Then you will waste your 5 minutes prime factorizing. No, you will first see whether the units digit is 2, 3, 7, or 8. If it is a 2, 3, 7, or 8, you don't need to prime factorize. You can simply say, no, this is not a perfect square because the units digit is 2, or a 3, or a 7, or a 8. Understood?
Yes, sir.
That is why. So prime factorization you will only do when you are sure that this number can be prime factorized. Okay. If you see a 2, 3, 7, or 8 at the last digit, You will say it is not. We will not. I will not prime factor it because I know this is not a prime. Is not a square number. Clear?
Sir, then we can direct write like that. Means, sir, this
Yes.
number
If,
is not a prime factorized.
this number is not a perfect square, you can write. Okay. If you see 2,
Sir,
3,
without
7.
showing, sir,
Yes.
without
If there
showing that, sir,
without showing, if there is a 2, 3, 7 or 8 at the last place in the units place, you don't have to do prime factorization. Okay, when you
Okay,
are
sir.
checking where it is, if it is a perfect square, for any other purpose you will have to do. If you are only checking for a perfect square, then you don't have to do. But suppose if you are doing something else, right, which we'll see, then you will have to do
Yes.
prime factorization. Now, what is important to note here is that 59, we are once we have subtracted the odd numbers, we are getting 10, which is not equal to 0. But 81, when we are subtracting, we are getting a 0 at the end, and we are saying 81 is a perfect square. If we get such a thing, that is, if we get a 0 at the end, that is, a number turns out to be perfect square, you must note here that 81 can be written as the sum of all these odd numbers. That is, 81 can be written as 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13 plus 15 plus 17. Okay, so this is something that you should note. Okay, so whenever you have a perfect square, you can always write that perfect square as a sum of the first few odd numbers. Clear?
Sir.
Hmm.
Sir, I am saying that in the number 81, you have done 9 steps. So, sir, the square root of 81 is also 9. So,
That is
sir,
what I'm
it,
coming to that. I'm coming to that. First few odd
okay, sir.
numbers. Now, in order to find out the square root, you count how many numbers are there. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 odd numbers, right? So therefore, 81 can be written as 9 square. Clear?
No, sir, I was thinking that
Hmm.
it's a coincidence.
Okay. So next property here is that any square number can be expressed as a square of two consecutive numbers. Okay, any square number you can express as consecutive numbers, means one after the other. Like 3 and 4 are consecutive numbers, right? Because 3 and 4 come one after the other, right? 5 and 6 are consecutive numbers. 21 and 22 consecutive numbers.
Yes.
So any square number can be expressed as a sum of two consecutive numbers, right? See, for example, 169. You know, 169 is a square number because it is 13 into 13. If you multiply, you will get 169. 169 can be expressed as a sum of two consecutive numbers. How? What I'll do is I'll subtract 1 from here and divide it by 2. So I'll get 168 divided by 2 to get 84. And what I'll also do is from 169, I will add 1 to get 170 divided by 2, which is 85. So therefore, you are getting 85 4 here and 85 here. Therefore, 169 can be written as a sum of 84 and 85. Let us try with another number. Let us try with 81. I want to write 81 as a sum of two numbers. This, now remember, this is only applicable for square numbers, not for every number. Okay. So if I want to find out whether 81 can be written as a sum of two consecutive numbers, what can I do? Subtract 1 from 81 divided by 2. So I get 80 divided by 2, which is 40. And now I add 1. So I get 41. So therefore, 81 can be written as the sum of this and this. 40 plus 41. You can try it with any square number. Okay, this is a special property of a square number. That is, a square number can be expressed as a sum of two consecutive or consecutive numbers. Now, this is not a very important property we will not be using, but just keep this in mind. Okay. Next is techniques of finding squares. Okay. Now, how to
Sir,
find
sir, this
how?
property only satisfies.
Okay, tell me once again. Repeat.
Sir, this property only satisfy for square numbers.
Only square numbers. Okay. Techniques of finding squares of numbers. Now, how to find out squares of numbers? See, I've given you examples here. Suppose I want to find out 43. You can do it this way. Otherwise, I can show you a better way of doing, provided you can practice that method. If you can practice that method, it's okay. Otherwise, you follow this method. Okay. The better method is if you want to find out the square of 43, then what you do here is you first square 3. How much will you get? 9, right? Now you look at the digits. What are the digits here? You have 4 and you have a 3, isn't it? You multiply these two digits. How much do you get? 12,
12.
right? Now you double 12. On doubling 12, how much will you get?
24.
24. Which is the last digit here? 4. So you
Four.
write 4 here. And 2 is our carry. Okay, 2 is in our mind. Now what you do is you square 4. How much will you get?
16.
16. To 16, what was there in your mind? 2. To 16 you add 2. How much do you get? So the
18.
square is 1849. Understood? Let us take another example. Let us say 57 square. Although there is a better way of finding 57 square, but we'll do this method only. 57 square. How do you find out the square of 57? First of all, you square 7 to get 49, right? So in 49, what is the last digit here? 9. So you write here 9. 4 is carry. 4 is in our mind. Okay. Next, what you do? What are the digits here? 5 and 7, right? You take 5 and 7 and you multiply them. How much do you get? 35. What is the double of 35? 70, right? 70, what was there in our mind? 4. 70 you add with 4 to get 74. You are getting how much? 74. So this 4 you write here. 7 is our carry now. Okay, this carry is now over. 7 is our carry now. Okay. Next here I have, next digit here I have is 5. Right? So 5 square is how much? 25. 25 you add with whatever was there in your mind, carry, which is 7. So 25 plus 7 is 32. So this square is 3249. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So one more example we have time for. Let's say I want to square 76. Only if you practice, only then you will remember this method. Otherwise, you will forget. Okay. So 76 square. How to find the square of 76? First of all, you take this digit 6. Square this. How much is this? 36. You take the last digit here. Write the last digit 6. 3 is our carry. Right. Next, you take these two digits 7 and 6. 7 and 6 digits. You take. You multiply these two digits. How much do you get? 42. Now you double 42. If you double 42, how much do you get?
24.
84. This 84 you add with the carry to get 87. Right? You're getting 87. So this 7 you write here. Right? So now 8 is our carry. Right? Now what you do? You have a 7 here. You square this. 7 square is equal to 49. Now 49 you add with the carry that you had earlier. 8. So 49 plus 8 is how much? 57. We write 57 here.
57.
So the square of 76 is okay. Now another shortcut method of this is a shortcut for
Sir,
digits that
it's only satisfied for 2-digit number.
2-digit numbers only. Now another shortcut for is for digits which end with 5. Okay, let us say I want to square 25. If you want to square 25, first of all, write 25 at the end. Square of 5 is 25. Next, you see a number 2 here, right? 2, what is the next number after 2? 3. So you multiply 2 with the next number after 2. You get 6 and you write 6 here. So you get 625. Suppose you want to square 75. So you write the square of 5, which is 25 at the end. What is the number here? 7. What is the next number after 7? 8. So you multiply the next number after 7 to get 56. So you write 56, 5625. Okay. Suppose you want to square 45.
So I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
In 75, how did we got 56?
What is the last digit here? 7, right?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After 7, which is the digit? 8. You multiply those two. Okay. Now see here, 45 square. If I want to square this 45, you write 25. Now you have a 4 here. 4, what is the next digit after 4? It is 5. So you multiply these two to get 20. So your square is 2025. Fine. So you can remember this. You can practice this if you want. It is a very useful. Later on, you will have easier. It will give you ease in your calculation later. Okay. So I'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow.